Also, Ray, before we actually continue with this, ne, I actually wanna bring up something, yeah. And I'm not a, how do I put it? I'm a person who I believe in sometimes like energies can mess up things, right? And they can make things not so great, right? And can affect
Mm,
things in a major way. So earlier during the week, right, as we, landed in UFC 311 fight week, we saw the airplane incident with Khabib, right? Where Khabib got kicked off the airline, right? I'm not sure
oh,
if you heard about that, but there was an incident where Khabib basically got kicked off this other airline because he was in the middle row, right? Where basically you have to be able to speak English or something like that for the exit. It's the emergency exits in the airplane, right? And so it seems like there was some sort of miscommunication between Khabib and the stewardess, and then it basically ended up becoming a whole thing, and he got ejected from the plane. So there was that whole incident, and it took place early in the week. And I remember when I heard about this incident and when I was like looking into it, I remember thinking, okay, I just hope that this doesn't affect the fighters, because Khabib had three fighters on this card, three fighters. So I was like,
mhm.
I hope it doesn't affect them. Um, Obviously they were able to get things back on track, and he did manage to get another plane to take him, to Los Angeles. But at the same time, I kind of can't help but think, what if that kind of had like some sort of effect on this entire situation? Obviously it didn't affect his other two fighters because they won, that's Islam and Tajir. But like,
Mhm.
it does kind of feel as though that was kind of like a, I don't want to say like a premonition, but like I don't know, a foreshadowing of something that's not gonna really go great, essentially. I don't know. How do you feel about those type of things? Do you believe in that, or do you think it was just solely on Umar altogether?
Well, now that you mentioned that, I was not aware of that incident. I'm reading on it now. Um, I think that that can possibly be an influencer, but I think with it being, again, you were saying it was about a week away from the fight, right? So I
Yeah,
I don't know how that would, maybe that could have affected, like with him having to leave, and then it's like you can't just leave your coach behind, and then that kind of throws off preparation, um because you were expecting to get to the destination at a certain time. You were expecting, I guess they were traveling what, to LA or to California.
yeah,
So it's kind of like you were expecting to get to California at a certain time, and a lot of fighters, they do say that fight week is very important as far as like getting there and then going immediately to UFC, checking in, checking your weight. So I could see how, as far as like the schedule kind of throwing him off a bit with that incident happening, I could see that playing a part during the week. But I just don't see, especially as dominant as Umar has been leading up to this point, I don't see
mm,
like that one incident on during the last week when you anticipate already, or you've already had a full fight camp. Like, I don't know. I think that it could affect it a bit, but I'm not sure. I don't know how much of the blame pie I can assign or give to that one particular incident, when you come to looking at his fight camp as a whole. So that's a good question. I did not know the incident, but yeah,
yeah. But
doggone. And
but
Frontier,
also,
why? Come on, USC. We can do better than putting your doggone athletes, a championship contender, on Frontier. Get that man
is
Delta,
Frontier
bro.
bad?
Hmm?
Is Frontier
Frontier,
bad?
Frontier is like Frontier is like a budget. And I ain't hating on Frontier. I flew on Frontier. I like it, but it's like a budget airline. It's not like, it's like kind of similar. I think Southwest is a little, it's just under Southwest, but
Oh.
way better than JetBlue, way better than I think it's another one that's like notorious. Um But yeah, it's like a budget airline. So it's like, come on, man. Fly them on American, man. Fly them on Delta, man. Boost them up. Don't come on, Frontier UFC. That's what we doing out here. You guys making all this money, but that's just me.
Oh my god. Okay, so Ray's basically saying that the problem stemmed from them booking that flight in particular.